Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, please do me a favor and subscribe. Would really help us out. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Pretty excited today. I've got artist and interviewer Victoria G with me. So welcome, Victoria.
Thank you.
So this was a fun one for me because you reached out to me. I didn't even have to do any work.
Well, that's good to know. Saved you some time.
That's right. That's right. So let's start this way, Victoria. Tell us a little bit about what you do. What are you involved in? What is your career path?
Well, I do quite a few thing.
I'm not
like Jill of all trades or anything like that, but I do like a few things.
You do.
I have my own company where I do different artsy services like graphic design, video production, motion graphics, stuff like that. And I have my own little interviewing publication, and I use the website and app called Wattpad to publish all my interviews on there. And I'm still a college student. I have been one for quite some time because my first college closed, so I started all over again.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that was fun.
What are you in school for?
I'm in school for basically like a triple major. It's graphic design, animation, and motion graphics.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Pretty big, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your plans? Is the plan when you get out to do your own thing, or is it to go work for like an animation studio or a graphic design studio?
My main thing has always been to work for the entertainment industry. So
yeah.
I have been applying for jobs based on what I feel that I can offer, but because I'm still in school, I can't apply for every job. So my main goal is to work for a big studio like a Warner Brothers type, but to still have my own little thing on the side for like freelance work.
Yeah.
While I wait to get to that point. That's kind of like my main thing right now.
I think that's smart. I mean, when you go out there and start looking for a position, you've already got your own company that you've been doing some work on. So much easier to kind of show what you can do. I think that's smart.
Thank you.
I watched your short film Noise.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Thank you.
Was that your first one, or have you done a few of those?
In high school, I did experience like little student films that I did for academic decathlon class, but it was more like kids just messing around. It wasn't like taking anything seriously. This, I really tried to take myself seriously because it was for a college project, and it was like one of my last classes for my associate's degree before I go into my bachelor's.
Right.
So I really wanted to make it look as professional as possible, and I think I did okay with that.
Yeah, it looked really good, and you acted in it as well.
I could not act very well, I don't think, but I didn't have anybody else who was willing to do it. So it was like, okay, I guess I'll just film myself.
I thought you did a good job. I was going to ask you if you had any plans to do any more acting. I thought it was good.
Well, thank you. If I get enough compliments on it, then maybe I'll do more acting. Because so far, I've been getting like some people telling me that the acting was good, and then others are just kind of like, yeah, and you acted. Okay.
That's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So what is Noise about?
Well, Noise is a accelerated version of my own obsession with watching TV. I have always like made my whole life around watching my shows and my movies, but an accelerated, like a loony version of that obsession, where if the TV doesn't work, the whole world just comes crashing down for me.
Yeah.
Which is not entirely untrue. There have been times when the TV doesn't work, and I do feel like my whole life is just going to end. So,
Yeah, and you're not alone. I mean, I know you chose a TV, but you could pick like any technology, and if you lost it, it would mess people up.
That's very true.
It was kind of a horror film.
That was what I was going for. Yeah, so I was going for kind of like a thriller, horror kind of thing. But hopefully, like someone could find like a little bit of a kick out of it and kind of laugh a little bit too at it.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It's 6 or 7 minutes long, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit over 6 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It's really good. So I've been checking out your interviews, and I think it's really interesting that you're doing them in print. You're doing them like email type interview. You email the questions. And then they email back. Why did you choose that medium?
Well, I started doing this like before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just out of me kind of feeling it out and then seeing what works and kind of being shy with it. And then I took a little bit of a break, and then I came back, and that format seemed to work for a lot of people because a lot of these actors, they're so busy with like set stuff, and didn't want to like make them feel that they had to like stop everything to just talk to little old me. That's kind of how it started. and then it just kind of took off. And then when COVID happened, it turned out people like this format anyway. And a lot of other people have been doing this kind of format whenever COVID happened. So it kind of just worked out that way that I started that format, and then it just kind of worked for people. So
yeah, I think it's really well done. And I never thought of doing it that way, but it really is a good way to get people to respond. When you're reaching out and trying to get people for your interviews, it's a really good way to do that. Because one of the issues we could run into is just that, their actors are busy. Mm-hmm. So you have to find them, or you have to find one that's willing to work around their own schedule, or you have to wait for when they have a lull. So, you get a lot more no's than yes, but it's usually not because they're uninterested. It's just because they don't have time.
Yeah, that is a big part of it. I got a lot of no's, I think, like in terms of a response rate, maybe a 20% chance someone has said yes to me in the very beginning. And then I started kind of branching out, trying different things and offering different formats to people also. Like if they don't want to do writing, I could offer more if by chance someone has time. But most of the time I end up grabbing people when they're trying to film something. So I guess it's just me not timing it right. So as I've been doing it more, I've been actually talking to the people's agents more, and also to studios, and trying to get in during those press junkets. That way, hey, they actually have time. Right. If I'm part of the junket, then we can do like a Zoom thing or something. But that just hasn't happened yet.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you get your guests? How do you choose who you want to talk with?
It's really just from like watching so many different movie shows, hearing different music. And if someone seems like they're like a rising star, then maybe I could be like their first interview and give them that kind of an opportunity to share their story. So, and a lot of times I've actually been someone's first. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I know. We've been lucky enough to have a few of those as well. And I think those are exciting. Mm-hmm. And it's wait until they really start getting some roles and getting bigger. It's a blast.
Yeah. I've actually like interviewed people who had like 100 followers, and like 1 year later they have 1,000. They have a little blue check mark. It's like, oh wow, good for them.
Yeah. Making progress. Acting's hard.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, and I saw you it's not just actors. You interview some other people, with different professions. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to get anyone who's like in the creative world, artists, singers, dancers, models. But it seems like I get mostly actors is what I seem to get of, which is fine with me. Yeah, that's cool. Give everyone like an equal chance.
That's right. Nothing wrong with that. So how do you find them? That like once you determine there's somebody you want to talk to, how do you get a hold of them? Where are you getting your leads, let's say?
I literally think that IMDb Pro is like my best friend because it has all their emails on there, all their information.
Yeah, that's what we use as well.
Yeah, that's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And it's more professional, I think, because then you're not just contacting directly, you're pitching to, their people. Occasionally you end up with somebody directly, but most of the time you're talking with their agent or publicist or manager or somebody like that.
I mean, if I truly can't find them on there, then I will send like a DM, and then you just hope that they see it, even though a lot of people have their DMs not open. So I was like, oh no, okay. Yeah,
that's how we started. We started out doing that, and 90% of them never even see it. They never see it because it's, if you're not friends with them, they usually don't get it. But occasionally we would luck into somebody and that's kind of how we got started. And eventually we figured out IMDb Pro was a much easier way to go.
Oh yeah, it's the best one for sure.
I assumed that's what you were using, but I figured I'd ask and just see. You've had a couple of people that have been on our show. So you talked to Christine Solomon and Rebecca Metz. You talked to her.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, both of them are just terrific.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun and just very nice people to talk with. Oh, yeah, have you had, is there any interview that stands out, somebody that you were like, ooh, this is a big one for me, or one that you really enjoyed?
I've had a few like starstruck moments.
Yeah.
Like, I actually got them. Oh my God. I'll do like a recent one just because I think that's only fair. So I don't pick any favorites.
There you go.
One of my favorite shows that is sadly ending, This Is Us. I really wanted to try to get some of the cast because the show's leaving and I love that show. And I did end up getting 2 people from the show who played the younger versions of the main characters. And that was really exciting because I think I was going to get anybody from that show because everyone was trying to get at them because it's the last season. And I thought, I'm not even going to try. No. And then I went in there like, okay, fine. So I sent the email and I ended up getting 2 people from there. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's a nice way to do it. If you're watching something and you're enjoying it, then why not try to get people from that show or movie or whatever it is on or talk to. I don't know. It's like it's enhancing the fan experience.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I try to act calm too, like, oh, big fan of the show, but then I'm thinking I'm freaking out.
Yeah, I do that like every interview. Trying to be professional, but I'm freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's normal.
Because you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you want. I wouldn't want a bunch of people on the show that I didn't like.
That's very true.
Who wants to do that? I'm trying to get people on here that I think are talented and would be a good interview, and people that I enjoy, or I enjoy at least the things that they're on. We talk to them that way. So I think that's really interesting. Is that something that you intend to keep going in some form?
With the interviews?
Yeah.
I actually do. Yeah. I've already done almost 500 and I just feel like even more driven to like, it's like over 1,000 at least.
I'm really impressed with the volume.
Well, thank you.
Really impressed with the volume. There's so many. That's a lot of interviews. And I know if you have that many, then you've got at least that many that didn't do interviews. So you sent out at least a couple of times that for requests. Yeah. That's impressive.
I would say probably about, like, in terms of people, I probably reached out to over maybe 4,000 people.
I believe it. That's amazing. That's so time consuming.
I like to make it into a bit of a ritual. I'll put like some loud music on, get some little bottled water, some little coffee. Just sit there. You just send out the emails over and over until I get carpal tunnel. Yeah.
Well, do you have a template that you're using and you just adjust it?
In the very beginning, I didn't. So I was like typing each one manually, not really knowing how to do it. And then over about, I want to say a few months, I'm thinking, okay, I really should think of a template. That way everyone kind of has the same thing, gets the same idea across. And then when I made one, that just seemed to be working. So that's good. I thought of a template, because at first I'm thinking this is taking a little long.
Yeah, it saves time. Yeah, it saves time. How do you come up with the questions for your person? Do you tailor them for each person, or are you using the same things for each one? How you do that?
I will repeat a lot of them if I notice they work in similar fields or they have around the same type of jobs I've done. But I will tailor them. Like if they're promoting something specifically and I'm trying to be like part of that press tour, then I will ask questions based on that movie or something. And I will like move it around based on how long they've been working and things like that. So I kind of change it per person, but most of the time it's pretty much like a standard template, depending on who they are, really.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. How what's the average length of time that you get the answers back?
I try not to rush them because I already feel kind of bad bothering them. So it's kind of like, take your time, like a week or something. But I've waited like months for some people.
Yeah,
and it's fine. It's like, you know what? It's fine. Just relax. But then I start thinking that maybe they like forgot about me. So then I'll send like little follow-up emails, and then hopefully I get something back. But if they're like promoting something specifically, then I kind of want it to coincide with that show. Then I will give a deadline, so it kind of depends. Like if they're not really promoting something right now, then they can do it whenever they want. But if like this show's ending like next week, I kind of want to post it.
That's right. Yeah, you want to time it so that it's beneficial. To do that. Well, and I saw you were doing some stuff on YouTube where you were posting. It's the interview. It's the written interview, but you're posting it like it's a video. I thought that was a neat idea.
Yeah, I started doing that because I wanted to get back into YouTube, because I had a channel with my cousin called Cousin's Corner, and then we ended up stopping that. But I kind of missed the whole YouTube experience. But I videos on my own, like with my face and my voice, because I don't know like what to do without my cousin there. So it's like I don't know what to do. So let me think of something that I can make where I'm still utilizing that platform, but I'm not embarrassing myself.
Right,
so
right.
I could take like these interviews that I've done in the past, go in order of the very first one I did back in 2016 was my first one. And then just post in like a video format, and people could pause the video and they could read it that way if it's easier for them. Because the font on there is probably bigger. So that kind of could help some people to read it.
I thought they were real easy to read.
Well, good. So that means I actually did my job then.
What was the Cousin's Corner? What kind of videos did you put on there?
We were trying to be like a all-inclusive channel where we did a little bit of everything that was like for an example, we did like wholesome things like playing with toys, to baking cakes, to not very wholesome things like making cocktails. We tried to do like a nice variety show and see what hit. And then we did episodes, and then we stopped because we wanted to do it like almost like a little web series. And then whenever COVID started picking up, it's like getting kind of hard for us to meet up and film too, right? It's like, okay, well, we could take a break or something, but then we just thought to probably stop it, because also with his school schedule mixed with mine, it's been hard for us to meet up. But it was a nice little thing that we did together. So that was good that we did that.
Yeah, you always have that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And actually, it's very exciting for me, because if you look back from like video 1 to the last one, I actually lost a lot of weight too. So that makes me very proud to see my whole progress right there on camera. It's like, wow, look, I was a little bit chunky there, and then I got really skinny.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's nice to see progress on there. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Right there on video.
So do you have plans, like what if you don't end up working for a studio? Do you still plan on working in entertainment? I mean, now that you've done some films, do you have aspirations to maybe work behind the camera somewhere?
I have for sure thought of that. Like if I cannot get into any studio at all, I could keep working freelance and maybe take my little company and kind of expand it more. into being like a full-on production company, like a one-woman show kind of thing. and then if it gets too big, I'll like start hiring people and then just kind of see what hits, because with the whole short film thing, it really showed me how much I can do on my own, which makes me feel pretty good about that. But yet it's like I still have like these studio dreams that I want to see through and see what happens. So I'm kind of trying all different things, because this industry, that's all I've ever wanted to work in. So hopefully something hits.
No, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. You're really talented. I'm sure something will hit.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
What's the name of your company?
It's an own made up word. It's called TeleCinephile Arts and Entertainment, which I made up that word because I've heard the word cinephile, which is someone who's like obsessed with movies, and a telephile, someone who's obsessed with television. I'm like, well, I'm kind of both. What if I just made like my own little word and see how it
Why
looks?
not?
Yeah, and then I typed it in using different fonts, and I'm like, that actually looks really nice. That works.
I also made up my own word, Meisterkhan.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's Meister from Burgermeister Meisterburger, from Santa Claus Comes to Town, the old claymation Christmas special. And then Khan from Wrath of Khan, Star Trek Wrath of Khan. I was like, nobody's ever going to have this name. So far, I've been correct.
That's a good thing. Yeah. Because like, if someone were to like think of a name that's too common, you kind of fear someone else may take it, right?
That's right.
Then you got to like remake all these T-shirts and stuff.
I don't want to do that. The heck with that. So what does your company do? What are some of the services that you provide?
I do graphic design stuff, photo editing, video production, music production, basically anything, any kind of like visual arts, creative kind of services. And now I'm starting to kind of add filmmaking in there too now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
I wanted to make sure all my years of college wouldn't go to waste,
Yeah.
I could take everything I've learned and kind of sell it to people.
If you get the chance to work for a studio, what kind of stuff do you want to work on? Are you wanting to do animation, or you wanting to work on film? What kind of stuff are you wanting to work on?
I've always said like my main thing is like anything in like post-production, like the editing stuff, things like that, because my original goal was animation, but then I was told by so many people that you just really can't draw very well, and you kind of have to be a really great person at drawing to work in animation. It's like, okay.
Yeah, those are hard lessons to learn.
Yeah, so then I tried other things and saw what I can do, and turns out graphic design was something I really took to, and anything about motion graphics, video editing, those things I took to very well. And I'm thinking, if I could take to it well, then I feel pretty confident that I could get hired in this. So let me keep pushing with that. So definitely anything in like post-production would be the best position for me, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And it's not like the animation stuff is going to go to waste. That's still very helpful. It's a good thing to have as a skill, even if it's not your strongest skill.
For sure, yeah.
It's really good.
With like so many classes that I've taken too, you just kind of learn what you are good at and then what you kind of struggle with. And then you kind of play around with it. Because I've been in school for, let me think, it's almost been 6 years. Wow, that's a long time.
It's not really that long anymore. Nobody gets out 4 years anymore.
I mean, it doesn't feel long, but when you've been through like 3 different schools, it's like,
yeah.
But luckily,
you're ready to get started. I get that.
Yeah, but like luckily I don't just do school, I also work too. So it kind of makes me feel like I'm not just spinning my wheels, which is a good thing. I'm still trying to work in that field anyway and just try to get in there.
Well, I think that's great. Do you have like do you have a day job right now that you're doing while you're in school?
It's really just been like my freelance work and stuff, and I do help out my family's business as well. They have a plumbing business, so I've been assisting with that as like a part-time thing. So
speaking of good skills to have,
I mean, I'm definitely not a plumber. I work in the office, so
yeah,
no
it's
one
not the
wants to
same.
have me around all the heavy machinery because I'm too weak. So my job is really just like type stuff because I'm really good at that.
Well, that's okay though. That's office manager stuff. It's always good to have a fallback.
Yes, it is. Definitely helps.
Well, what did you do through high school? Were you involved in like theater or sports? Did you sing? What did you do in high school?
In high school, I did a few different things. I did sports a little bit. And then the older I got, the more I realized I'm just over it. So I stopped the sports.
Yeah.
Because I kept getting hurt and it's like, eh.
Yeah. Who wants to do that?
I'm so much better. I like just sitting down, just so much easier for me.
Same.
And then I took a drama class for a few years at my high school, and I did one play, which I make it sound like this one play was like this massive production. It was really just one play, but I make it sound like this really big thing that I did.
Or do you mean it was just one play or like it only had one performance?
One play, one performance. But the way I talk about it is like it's this really big thing.
What was the play?
We made up our own little idea called Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, but we turned it into like a whodunit kind of thing. And
I actually like that.
And I played Grandma.
Oh, you were Grandma.
I was Grandma.
Did you have a death scene?
No, unfortunately. It's actually really upsetting because I've always wanted to like try to like play dead.
Yes.
And yet I didn't get to have my moment. I didn't get to do that.
Well, you need to make a short film about that. Take that idea, make it into a short film, but give yourself a death scene.
If I could play dead really well, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll find out.
That's very true. And if it doesn't work out, I just won't post it anywhere.
I think it would be a funny idea if you did that and you got a stand-in for any time you had to do anything active or for the death scene. But you'd need a stand-in that was obviously not you. Because, they use stand-ins in Hollywood, but you're not supposed to be able to tell it's a stand-in. Right. But I think it'd be hilarious if it was very obviously not you. And it was only when you were like, in a fight scene or a death scene, something active. And then you switch in somebody that's just complete. I think that would be funny.
I actually like that. Yeah. Because it also means that I don't have to move too much either.
That's right. That's right.
Sit back.
Somebody's going to steal that. We're going to be watching. You binge TV. You're a fan. We're going to be watching someday, and Netflix or one of these streamers they'll have that as an idea, and we'll be going it. We should have acted on that.
Probably, yeah, because it does feel like all of the like really good ideas have already been done, which can be that's something that can be kind of like frustrating. I think whenever you're like watching stuff, you're thinking different ideas, like. Someone already did that. Someone took that.
Yeah. Well, I think don't you think that's why so many shows are coming back? You get or redone, they're redoing the 80s and 90s shows. And I think that's why it's difficult to come up with a fresh idea.
That's very true. And also it's like people of like a different generation can watch these things who didn't grow up with it, but then they have to modernize it too, where it matches whatever the kids are watching these days also.
Well, that's right. That's right. I usually don't like the modernization as well as I like the original, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the new one's bad. You just get attached to the original. Yeah.
You just can't compare. You got to look at it like two separate things.
You do. So okay. So during COVID, when we were going through that lockdown stuff, what were you watching? What were some of the things that you were, binge watching at the time?
Well, I was trying not to binge watch the same things that everybody else was because I didn't want to get trapped in all like the streaming traffic and then deal with buffing and stuff. So I was trying to think, what are people not watching? So I just started finding a bunch of like hard to find foreign films that probably one was watching, because they're harder to find, and plus I get to like rent them for like a couple of dollars, see if I like it. And I like probably saw, like, just in COVID alone, I think maybe over 1,000 shows and movies.
Oh my gosh.
Which makes me sound like I didn't do anything, but yet I still had school and work. But
that's a lot, though. So were most of them subtitled or dubbed?
Most of them were subtitled, and then I saw that were American, but they were like on my DirecTV DVR list, so I didn't have to deal with the whole streaming crowd. I just went in there, push play on things that I've been like collecting for a long time, and even shows that I didn't watch when they first came out. Like with a good example would be like Watchmen, that one show that came out, which that came out back in like 2019, but I never saw it. But I had it on our list, watched that, and I really loved that one a lot.
Yeah, it was good. I was very disappointed they didn't bring that back for a second season.
Yeah, I was a little surprised too, because I know that it did really well. So I thought, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, me too. And it left it open. Yeah. At least enough where you could have had a second season.
Maybe they're probably waiting, and then they'll bring it back like in 10 years or something.
I mean, you never know. I thought the same thing with Lovecraft Country. I liked it too.
That was also a great one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it didn't come back either. I was like, come on.
That was weird, because that one I really thought for sure, because I kept seeing like all these nominations for it too. It's like, what's going on over there? I wonder why they're not bringing stuff back. Teasing us.
I don't know. I liked it well enough that I got the book, and then I've never read it. It's still sitting in the closet. Eventually I'll get to it, because I wanted to see. I was like, I wonder if the book wrapped it up, a little better. But who knows? Anything else that stood out? You liked Watchmen? Any other ones?
Euphoria is amazing.
I'll tell you, this is what I think about Euphoria. I love it. I think it's it's an amazing show. But I can only watch one episode at a time, like one a day. It's just too much.
I think the most I watched in one day when I was trying to catch up with it was probably 3 in one day, and that was a lot. I'm sitting there.
That's a lot. Like an hour seems like you've watched an entire movie. Oh yeah. It seems so much longer than it actually is, and not in a bad way. I don't mean in a bad way. Yeah. It's so heavy. It's just, it's emotional, and it's heavy. And so that was my wife and I, that was kind of our rule. We no more than one of those a day, but we loved it. We loved it. I thought it was a terrific show.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I pretty much like any of those little limited series seem really special. I think they really like put a lot of time into those, and
there are some good ones.
And then like in terms of like not limited series, I have some light little sitcoms in there, like all those Channel 7 sitcoms. I watched like Wonder Years. I watched that one.
Oh yeah.
Let me think what else I do.
I liked Wonder Years because it at the end of it, they like show the actual people a lot of times. The ones that actually were who they played in the episode. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I'm trying to think what else. SpongeBob. I still watch SpongeBob, even though I'm really old now.
Everybody loves SpongeBob, though.
Yeah, that one I still watch.
Nothing wrong with that.
I watched the reboot of iCarly. I watched the reboot of Rugrats currently also.
I didn't realize Rugrats was back out. I knew iCarly was because my son watches it, but I didn't realize Rugrats was back out.
Yeah, that one came out in May of last year on Paramount Plus, and then now they're playing one episode a week on Fridays on regular TV. So like if someone doesn't want to do streaming, then they could just go on there.
Yeah. I need to so Rugrats was one that my oldest daughter watched when she was little, and now she's got little ones, so I need to let her know. I'm like, hey, it's back. Get them watching it.
And it's actually very similar to the original, but they have little modern touches, like they will have iPhones in there, so they do have little modern things that's really cool.
I remember there was there was a PlayStation video game of Rugrats. And
I should have a few of them, but I can't remember.
It was like PlayStation 1, or just the basic PlayStation. But I remember the
Right.
kids wore that thing out. But you had to fight Reptar, and it had some adventures in there. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's how you know you made it if they turn you into a video game.
Very true.
We could totally do a video game of a podcast just like this, and you have to choose the questions that you want you could do, like, your avatar could be your interviewer, so you get to make that up, and then you get to choose the questions they ask, and depending on what you ask, your guest will react. And if you ask the wrong question, maybe they react poorly, and it goes back. I don't know. I think there's something there. People play that. What's the one you play that's supposed to be like a real life?
Oh, the Sims, I think.
The Sims. Yeah, Sims. It wouldn't be any worse than that.
I actually like that idea. Like that.
That's
cool.
two good ideas we've had just in the last half hour.
Very true. Very true.
Well, okay. So Victoria, what else, is your plans for the future? So you got to finish school. You're going to keep doing the interviews. Anything else that you have plans to try?
I do have plans to try to sell a original screenplay I wrote.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I wanted to ask you if you had thought about writing. You're one step away from it. You're having to create all this stuff. I wanted to ask you if you were thinking of doing the screenplay type of thing.
I actually did write something during COVID is when I started writing it. And then I ended up finishing it around 2021 is when I finished it. And then as soon as I finished it, I was all excited. And then I started calling all these different studios. And I keep being told that you need to have an agent before you could sell anything. So then I've been agent hunting. And then that's been not as easy as I thought.
I know. You think it would be fairly easy, but it's not. That's apparently tough. A lot of work. What's the idea? Without giving the whole thing away, what's the idea?
It's kind of like the way how my noise one was, where I take something that happened to me, but I accelerate it by like 100 notches to make it more dramatic. It is about a college that closes, like what happened to me, but I had the main character go into a bit of a mental spiral, you know? Yeah. A little crazy, which I didn't go crazy. The most I did was like cry in the corner for 10 minutes and I just got back up. And then I just thought, okay, finish it out and then find a new college and then don't freak out. And then I cried a little bit again when it actually closed, but I didn't have like any mental craziness, nor did I see anything. But I just thought, you could take this idea and make it into a movie, but have the main character go seriously crazy.
Yeah, you absolutely could. I could see it either way. You could do a movie or you could do a limited series. Yeah,
so that's how I thought of it. It's like 90 pages, a good hour and a half long is how I'm thinking it could be, right?
Well, that's right. It's supposed to be like a page a minute, right?
Yeah, because I was reading that if you go over that limit, that studios will be less likely to purchase it because then it's too long to produce. So my idea was much longer and really dragged out. And I thought, okay, well, let me take it and polish it. That way it's not so long because I'm like this nobody coming off the street.
Yeah.
And then I finished that, got it registered with the Writers Guild. And I thought that was all I needed to do. And it turns out you need an agent and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, okay then. So I've been on the hunt for like all these kind of networking events that I could go to and try to get an agent that way. Because obviously cold calling's not working.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just, it's tough. And it doesn't really make sense. Because why do you need an agent? They're just going to pitch it for you. You could pitch it for yourself.
I did ask about that. I want to say like my third phone call. I was like, okay, why do I need an agent? Just because I'm genuinely curious, like what are they going to do? Because I don't know how this stuff works.
Right.
And they were telling me, well, the agents have relationships with the studios as opposed to just a random person coming in. So it kind of gives the studio more security of who's coming in with the script.
Okay.
I totally understand
that. Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's a relationship thing. That makes sense.
So that I get it. It's part of the business, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, and so you also cover film festivals.
I did that a few times last year. Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. It was something that was just kind of given to me as an option. I was trying to get on a press tour for a Netflix movie, and the people who were running it, turns out they had a film festival coming up, and they did not give me the movie, but they gave me a film festival. I thought, I had no idea I was even qualified to like do that. Okay. So then I took it and then I just kind of ran with it. And then I did 3 of them, and it was really nice. I got to watch all these different movies from the comfort of my own home and do all this different streaming stuff. I got to interview all these really cool filmmakers. So that was really cool, which also kind of inspired me to make my own film also. Like, okay, if I make a short film, see what happens. And it turns out that was an assignment from my college class anyway. So that was really cool. I got to do a few different things all for just 1 month.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. We've been to a few of the film festivals. We cover mostly conventions. We'll do the convention route. But it's really neat when you can get that press pass, because it does give you access to stuff that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Oh yeah, because I've always been watching film festival live streams on my computer since I was like 12, 13 years old, and thinking that'd be so cool to go to that.
Now you're doing it.
Can say that I did it, and I have a little badge.
Yeah. We went to, right before COVID, we went to Sundance. We had a project that we were out there pitching, and it's so cold, so you're out there and you're probably side by side with famous people, but you don't know because they're so bundled up. You never see anybody's face. They're all bundled up. But I thought that was kind of a neat thing, because then later you'll hear so-and-so was, somewhere, and you'll like, I was there. He has no idea. But it's so much fun just to get exposed to different movies and ideas and the creativity that you wouldn't get otherwise. I love film festivals. I think they're really great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff. Well, Victoria, thank you so much. This has been just a blast. I knew it would be. You're a kindred spirit, with the interviewing, and I love what you're doing. And you have had just an amazing run of guests, which is impressive. It made, I thought we kept pretty active. You made me tired.
Well, thank you. That means that I must be doing something right.
That's right. You're doing something. Well, yeah. If you weren't doing a good job, you would not be at 500. You'd have stopped at 50.
That's very true. That's very true.
So you're doing something right. No, it's really good. It's really good. So couple things before I let you go. Is there anything else that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
Still a bunch more interviews I have in my arsenal that haven't been posted yet.
Yeah.
I've been kind of hanging on to those. I got a bunch of selections in film festivals for my short film, so I've been posting my little bragging rights about that.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
And I'm trying to think what else. On my YouTube channel, I'm still posting every week. I do my little video interviews, but I also do different animations and stuff like that, showing my different skill sets. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's really smart. And you've got some skills. I think that'll help you out going forward. And that was my next question, or my last question. Where can we find you on social media?
I have the same handle on everything to make it nice and easy, at Hello Victoria G. That's how I have everything. And then
it was pretty easy to find. I didn't have any trouble finding you.
And then for my company, it's at TeleCinephile, because it puts a full name. Apparently, there's this character limit or something, so you can't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was Twitter that had this character limit, so I had to make sure that everything matched Twitter.
Right.
And then I have another page called TeleCinephile Inspirations, which is really just me posting once a day all the different shows and movies that I'm a fan of and that inspire me.
Yeah. I like that one. I enjoyed that one, Because I do that stuff too. I'm like, oh, this is good. Other people should be watching this.
Yeah, and I try to do like a nice mix of things that are really hard R, or that are really, or that are like really friendly and sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, you cover a wide range. I think that's good.
From like kids shows to like these weird little foreign things I found, or something very different, and hopefully someone will be curious and watch it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
The original Rugrats. That's been
I thought that's what you'd say.
Yeah, that's been my ultimate favorite. But the largest like collection I have is like SpongeBob stuff. So people think that that's my favorite, but SpongeBob is like my third favorite, and my second was Avatar: The Last Airbender. So those
yeah. My stepdaughter, big fan of that one.
Yeah, so those have been like my top three that have shaped me into the person I
am. Well, those are good ones. If you're going to pick some, those are pretty good ones, and they've stood the test of time. They're still out there.
Yeah, and even with like Avatar's supposed to be coming back too, with like a Netflix movie or something. So
yeah,
it's nice to know that there's a new generation of kids that are going to watch what made me.
Well, thank you so much, Victoria. We'll have to check back in down the road and do this again.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. All right. So that was the talented Victoria G. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm a big fan of what she's doing. And if you haven't checked out, her interviews, they're really good. They're really well done. They're thought out. She asked some really good questions, and she's getting really good responses from just a ton of people in the entertainment business, which is really great. She's so prolific. So kudos to her for that. It's difficult, I think, to put out that much material, but have it be quality. And she does a really good job with that. And I have no doubt she'll end up being a graphic designer and probably sell a screenplay and all of that stuff. She's just really talented, hardworking young woman. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for tuning in again with us. If you haven't done so yet, we're trying to grow our YouTube channel, Meisterkhan Pod. If you could subscribe, that would really help us out. You can find all 400 of our episodes, audio and video, on our website, meisterkhan.com. If we're covering a convention, if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, all that will be on the website, meisterkhan.com. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, bye, everybody.